أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي رحمنا برسوله ورزقنا بكتابه وهدانا على ولاية أهل بيت نبيه، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف خلقه خاتم أنبيائه وسيد المرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين، سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي الزهراء المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. أما بعد، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد بعثنا في كل أمة رسولا. And we have sent to every nation a messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises in the Holy Quran that every single nation that has ever passed or will pass has had a messenger. May that messenger have already arrived or will arrive, it doesn't matter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to every nation a messenger. Among those nations mentioned within the Holy Quran are Ad and Thamud, two nations that rebelled against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ended up on the receiving end of Allah's wrath. Tonight, in discussion of Ad and Thamud, I would like to dissect this topic in a few steps. Number one, who are Ad? What did they do and who was the messenger sent to them? Number two, who are Thamud? What did they do and who was the messenger sent to them? And three, what is the most dangerous thing that could ever happen to a nation? Before we begin, Sallu ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Ad, descendants of Nuh alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them in the Holy Quran. They were a nation whom Allah had blessed with strength and size. Size as in physical size. They were huge beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had blessed them with many blessings. In fact, if anyone tried to fight against them, Ad would not leave anything or anyone after the war. Further than that, He blessed them with technology well before their years. They built palaces and pillars on every single hill and mountain in sight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to Ad a man from the progeny of Nuh alayhi salam. This man is Prophet Hud alayhi salam. Prophet Hud, he was a prophet that was sent to Ad. Yet, as usual, they rejected his message, and much like his forefather Nuh alayhi salam, they beat him endlessly. In fact, Hud reached the verge of death multiple times. Many times he reached the verge of death. Hud then told them, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you 7 years of drought. If you persist after that, you will see what happens to you. 7 years, no water. After that, they persisted and were arrogant. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to tell Hud, take yourself and a few of your followers and go towards Mecca. There in Mecca you will reside and you will stay there until your last days. In your last days, appoint a successor. So Hud did that. He took himself and the followers. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do to Ad? Why did He order Hud to leave? He gave them a taste of Jahannam on earth. 7 days and 8 nights. Constant bala upon bala, calamity upon calamity. You can still find the palaces and pillars that they built today in the southern peninsula of Arabia, but there's not much left because all of it was destroyed, the majority of it. Now, when Hud alayhi salam was on his deathbed, he prophesied the coming of Salih. Salih alayhi salam would be sent to another nation that would be descendant from Nuh, and this would be the nation of Thamud. Thamud, they had Salih. Salih told them when he was 16 years old, he began his mission and told them about Tawheed, because they had also reached the level of shirk and kufr. He told them about Tawheed. 104 years Salih preached. He was 120 when he gave them their last warning. He told them, look, I'm gonna ask for something, you ask for something, and we'll see whom replies, your Lord's or my Lord. Who's gonna reply? So they agreed. Salih and them went towards the idols that they used to worship, and they told them and did dua to them what Salih wanted. Salih went to every single one of these idols and told them, why don't you respond? He slapped the other one. Why don't you respond? Every single one, why don't you respond? They were angered. They said, okay Salih, if you speak the truth, yallah, do your dua. We want a she-camel that is pregnant, so that we may have 2 camels when she gives birth and milk. Salih said, is that it? Is that what you think of my Lord, that this is the extent of his power? They said, no. You see that mountain over there? No caves, no nothing. It was a solid piece of rock. He told them, you see that mountain? Bring it out of that mountain, as in let the mountain open and the camel comes out of it. What did Salih do? He said, very well. He raised his hands up in dua. The moment his hands went down, the mountain began to open, and the camel stepped out of the mountain, went straight to Salih. The issue with Thamud is that they believed. They believed for a short period of time. There were those that stayed with Salih, and there was those that rejected Salih even more. What happened? They decided that this camel is drinking too much of our water. Let's kill it. If God sends you a sign in the form of a camel which you wanted, would you kill this camel? It's actually mind-boggling how Allah could send you a sign to you directly, you personally, and you still reject the sign and go to kill it. Why? Because it's taking the majority of the water in the well. So they killed the camel. Salih was saddened and angered. He told them, by Allah, you have done something that crossed all lines. You have 3 days. On the first day you will turn red. On the second you will turn yellow. On the third you will become charcoal black. When you turn this color, you will all cease to exist and die. 3 days he gave them warning. But you have one chance. You can go take care of the baby camel that she birthed. What happened? That camel died. And on the 3rd day, they came to Salih and they said, oh Salih, we're gonna kill you. Salih told them, look, I was one who only wished you well. I didn't mean you any bad. But you rejected my message, and I only conveyed the message of my Lord. Ya qawmi laqad ablaghtukum risalata rabbi. I only conveyed to you the message of my Lord. and you rejected me. You're gonna meet your Lord now on kufr. They all died except the followers of Salih. Now, the worst thing that could happen to a nation didn't happen to Ad or Thamud. Sure, they befell calamities upon calamities, but they did it as a united front. As for those nations in the past who have split, that was the worst thing that could have happened to them. Once you split, you begin to have civil wars, and civil wars lead to endless death. Of those nations, was it not the nation of our very own Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Our very own nation split. You have 25 years after the death of Rasulullah, they're all fighting his successor, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, at Jamal, at Saffin, at Nahrawan. 24 years later, you find that they were fighting his son at Karbala. On this night, we commemorate the martyrdoms of Muslim ibn Aqil, the sons of Muslim, Ibrahim and Muhammad. Some like to commemorate the martyrdoms of Aun and Muhammad, the sons of Sayyidah Zainab salamullahi alayha. Others like to commemorate Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, who placed himself on the day of Ashura between two nations. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn says on the morning of Ashura, "O people, forget what's happened in the past. Forget all the civil wars we had in the past. If you begin this battle today, we will be one nation with Aba Abdullah and you will be another." After this, Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi placed himself in between the two armies. He looked at the nation of Aba Abdullah on the right, then he looked at the nation of Yazid on the left, and he said, "Ukhayyiru nafsi bayna al-jannati wan-nar." The famous words, "I place myself between paradise and hell. By Allah, I will not pick anything except paradise." Hurr, because of this action, had 30 men follow him. And Hurr had such a special place in the hearts of the Ahlul Bayt. On the day of Ashura, Abi Abdullah al-Hussein had 2 cloths that belonged to Fatima al-Zahra with him. One he used on Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, the other he wrapped the head of Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi with. That's how high of a position Hurr had in the eyes of the Ahlul Bayt. In fact, he had such a soft spot in the heart of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. The Imam says, لَنِعْمَ الْحُرْ حُرُّ بَنِي رِيَاحٍ صَبُورٌ عِنْدَ مُشْتَبَكِ الرِّمَاحِ وَنِعْمَ الْحُرْ إِذْ فَادَ حُسَيْنًا. What a magnificent Hurr, the Hurr of Bani Riyah, the free one of Bani Riyah. He was patient in the middle of the battlefield among the arrows. What a magnificent Hurr, the one who gave his life to Hussein. أقول قولي هذا والحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره ومن المستشهدين من بين يديه. وصل اللهم على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.